on the occasions of the official visit of His Excellency, the Prime Ministers of the Republic of Singapore to the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste. It is an absolute honor to welcome the two leaders for today. We have with us His Excellency Carlos Guzman, Prime Minister of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste, alongside with our honored state guest, His Excellency Lawrence Wong, Prime Minister of the Republic of Singapore. Without further ado, we shall proceed to the official statement from both principals. To begin, I have the distinct honor to invite the Prime Ministers of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste, His Excellency Carlos Guzman, to deliver the opening host country statement. Your Excellency, the floor is given.
It is my great pleasure to welcome Prime Minister Lawrence Wong to Timor-Leste for this official visit. Prime Minister Wong's visit is historic. It is the first time a Prime Minister of Singapore has made an official visit to Timor-Leste. It is also especially meaningful because it follows Timor-Leste's accession to ASEAN. For Timor-Leste, ASEAN membership is the realization of a national aspiration. It also brings us together with our Southeast Asian neighbors and gives us the opportunity to contribute more fully to the future of our region. Prime Minister Wong's visit reflects the growing strength of the relationship between Timor-Leste and Singapore. Our discussions today were warm, open, and productive. We discussed how Timor-Leste and Singapore can keep building a practical partnership that supports Timor-Leste's development, strengthens our participation in ASEAN, and deepens the friendship between our peoples. Singapore has been a trusted friend and partner. It has supported our people, our institutions, and our preparations for ASEAN membership. Today, we discussed how to take this cooperation into a new phase. I thank Prime Minister Wong for Singapore's continued support through the enhanced Singapore-Timor-Leste ASEAN Readiness Support Package. The E-Stars package makes a significant contribution to supporting Timor-Leste's integration into ASEAN. It helps our officials, our institutions, and our country participate more effectively in ASEAN's work. Importantly, it will also support our preparations to share ASEAN in 2029. I also welcome Singapore's decision to open a resident embassy in Delhi. This is an important milestone in the relationship between our countries. It is a strong symbol of Singapore's confidence in Timor-Leste and its commitment to our future partnership. Our discussions also focus on trade and investment. When I visited Singapore on an official visit last year, Prime Minister Wong and I spoke about how to build a stronger economy that provides jobs and opportunities. For Timor-Leste to become more resilient, we need to build a productive economy. We need investment that creates jobs and supports the development of our private sector. Timor-Leste welcomes investment from Singapore, including in construction, tourism, healthcare, services, and the development of the blue economy. At the time of international uncertainty, Prime Minister Wong and I also reaffirmed the importance of international law, dialogue, and peaceful cooperation between states. For small states like Timor-Leste, international law is essential to our sovereignty, our security, and our development. We know from our own experience that difficult disputes can be resolved peacefully through law, dialogue, and good faith. We value Singapore's respected voice in our region and internationally in support of peace, stability, and respect between states. Prime Minister Wong, your visit has helped strengthen the relationship of trust and cooperation between Timor-Leste and Singapore. Timor-Leste looks forward to building on the outcomes of this visit, including ASEAN cooperation, labor mobility, education, health, investment, connectivity, and regional affairs. I thank you again for your visit to Timor-Leste and for Singapore's continued friendship and support. I now invite you, Prime Minister, to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister Gusmao, once again for the warm welcome extended to me and my delegation. I am glad to be in Dili for this historic visit. It is significant in several ways. It is my first visit to Timor-Leste. It is the first visit by a Singapore Prime Minister, and it comes during Timor-Leste's first year as a full member of ASEAN. Singapore is privileged to be able to partner Timor-Leste on its nation-building journey. We have been doing so even before your independence. We are among the first countries to contribute personnel to the International Force East Timor. More than 1,000 Singaporeans served here in humanitarian and peacekeeping operations. And since then, we have continued to support Timor-Leste's priorities through capacity building and human resource development. Over 1,300 Timorese officials have participated in our training programs. As these exchanges have grown, so too have our bilateral ties. Singapore opened our resident embassy in Dili in 2024, and we appointed our first resident ambassador earlier this year. These are important milestones that reflect our commitment to building a stronger partnership with Timor-Leste. Earlier today, Prime Minister Gusmao and I discussed how we can take our cooperation to the next level. And let me highlight several key areas of our discussion. First, we will strengthen bilateral exchanges. Our foreign ministries will establish a regular consultation mechanism to discuss not just bilateral issues, but also regional, international, and strategic developments. And this will provide a platform for closer coordination between our two governments. Second, Singapore will continue to support Timor-Leste's integration into ASEAN. Last year, during Prime Minister Gusmao's visit to Singapore, we launched the Enhanced Singapore Timor-Leste ASEAN Readiness Support Package, or the E-STARS package. Now that Timor-Leste has joined ASEAN, the next priority is for it to contribute fully to the organization and prepare for its chairmanship of ASEAN in 2029. So we will expand the E-STARS package to include more ASEAN-related programs. We will organize tailored workshops on the duties of ASEAN chairmanship for officials in Dili, and we welcome attachments by Timorese officials to Singapore's ASEAN chairmanship team so that they can gain practical first-hand experience. Third, we will strengthen our economic ties. Singapore is already one of the largest investors in Timor-Leste. Our companies are exploring opportunities across a wide range of sectors, from wholesale trade to renewable energy and the blue economy. These investments reflect growing interest and confidence in Timor-Leste's future. By working together, we can create new business opportunities, support economic diversification, and generate growth that benefits both our peoples. Next year, Singapore will also open selected sectors and occupations to Timorese workers in Singapore. This will create new opportunities for Timorese people while strengthening our business and people-to-people links. Fourth, we will continue to invest in human capital, because for small countries like ours, people are our greatest asset. And that is why we will deepen cooperation in healthcare to support capability building and workforce development. And we will also cooperate in education to support Timor-Leste's National Institute for Training of Teachers and education professionals in developing school leaders who will help nurture and shape the next generation. Last night, I had the pleasure of meeting members of the Singaporean community here in Timor-Leste. They are small in number, but they have made significant contributions over many years, and they are helping to strengthen the friendship between our two countries in practical and lasting ways. We will build on these strong foundations to strengthen our cooperation and friendship further. Prime Minister, our two countries may be small nations, although you are much bigger in land area, but we are small nations. Nevertheless, we share the same conviction that our size does not determine our destiny and that we can shape our own future through courage, hard work, and strong partnerships. Timor-Leste's accession to ASEAN marks the beginning of a new chapter, not just for your country, not just for ASEAN, but also for the partnership between Singapore and Timor-Leste. So I look forward to working closely with you as we deepen this partnership and create new opportunities for our peoples in the years ahead. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Prime Minister Lawrence Wong, for your statement. We'll start two questions from Timor-Leste medias before we give the chance to the Singapore media. So we'll start with the RTTL, please.
So, thank you very much. Boa tarde. Good afternoon, Prime Minister. So, as a strong and stable neighbor to Timor-Leste, what support can Singapore offer ASEAN's newest member as it prepares to chair the bloc in 2029, sorry. So, Prime Minister, here I would like to add more questions. So, how can Singapore and Timor-Leste work together to mitigate the impacts of the war in the Middle East on the wider ASEAN economy? Thank you.
Singapore will continue to provide support for Timor-Leste in order for it to benefit fully from ASEAN membership and also to contribute as a full member of ASEAN. And that's why, as I said just now, we are enhancing our ESAS package, expanding it with more ASEAN-related programs, including specific initiatives that will support Timor-Leste as it prepares for its chairmanship of ASEAN in 2029. So these are ongoing, but we will enhance and we will do even more. As for your second question, I think the effects of the Middle East crisis is affecting all the economies of this region, in fact, all the economies of the world, but Asia is hard hit because we depend a lot on the oil and gas supplies coming through the Persian Gulf. The best way for us to mitigate the impact is really for us to continue strengthening our integration within ASEAN itself. The more we are integrated, the more we are able to cooperate with one another, then we will have greater resilience, we will have greater diversification, and that will enable us to ride through any volatility in the global economy. So these integration measures are continuing. ASEAN over the years has become a much more integrated economy, and certainly when Singapore takes on the chair of ASEAN next year, we will continue to look for ways to accelerate these integration efforts.
We have one more question from Tatole Media.
Prime Minister Wong, Singapore is an important trading partner for Timor-Leste, and so is Singapore interested in expanding its investment in the industrial sector of the country?
I'm sure our businesses are looking at these opportunities. I think investments should be led by the private sector rather than the government. The government's responsibility is to provide a conducive framework to highlight the opportunities and to bring the business sector closer together. So we will do that between our two governments, and as we do so, I'm sure businesses in Singapore will look at the many new opportunities that are already opening up in Timor-Leste. As I mentioned just now, I met the Singaporean community last night. A number of them are already in these new business ventures, and hopefully there will be more to come.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. And now we are moving on to the two questions from Singapore media to Your Excellencies Prime Minister of RTTL. And we'll start with Channel News Asia TV, please.
Hi, Prime Minister. So for Timor-Leste as the newest member of ASEAN and Singapore preparing to take up the chair next year, how do you envision that dynamic unfolding in time to come? And what are some concrete areas of cooperation you would prioritize next? Thank you. What are some areas of cooperation?
Well, we are a new country, although we have already 24 years of independence. The problem is human resources. And that is why in human resources we talk about education, we talk about health, we talk about building the character, building the entrepreneurship, many, many things. And we cannot say this is priority, but everything is in the same level. How can we do this? We will see the result of the cooperation agreement that today the two foreign ministers signed MOU, open the door to better discuss each areas. That's why in this I will not say which one, because what we face now in the building of the state, we face this big challenge.
Now we're moving on to the Strait Times for the second question to His Excellency.
Good afternoon, Prime Ministers. Singapore plans to designate Timor-Leste as a non-traditional source country for work permit holders in 2027. How will this benefit both sides?
Well, this is an important announcement that has been made by Prime Minister Wong today. It is a very significant development of the relationship between our countries. It is also a sign of confidence in the Timorese people. One of the great challenges that we face in developing our country, as I told before, is our human resources. Allowing Timorese to work in Singapore will provide them training, skills, experience, and can build their character. That will be very important when they return home. It will also provide income for Timorese and their families. In 2025 alone, remittance from Timorese working abroad amounted to more than 180 million US dollars, which is around 10% of our GDP. This shows the important contribution our workers overseas make to their families and to our national economy. It also illustrates the contribution that Timorese make in providing labor and supporting the economies of the countries that they work in. We already work with Australia, South Korea, New Zealand on labor mobility programs. The government is pleased to now also be working with Singapore to to provide opportunities for Timorese people to live and work in Singapore. Thank you.
If I may just add on to what Prime Minister Gusmao said, I think this is a win-win initiative because it provides more opportunities, as Prime Minister Gusmao highlighted just now, for Timorese people to gain skills and work experience and then come back eventually to contribute to Timor-Leste. At the same time, it helps to meet the manpower needs of Singapore in selected sectors. So we believe this is a valuable partnership for both sides. But I would also look at it as not just an economic initiative, because the more we have these sorts of exchanges, interactions, it builds closer people-to-people ties, it builds closer business-to-business exchanges. And we want to encourage more of these exchanges and interactions amongst our peoples and amongst our business sector so that it can facilitate more cooperation down the road. Overall, Timor-Leste is a young nation, but we believe it has tremendous potential to develop and grow. And Singapore will do our part to help Timor-Leste succeed because a strong Timor-Leste contributes to a strong ASEAN.
Thank you, Excellencies, for your time for addressing these vital points. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen of the press, it brings our joint press statement questions and answer sessions to an official close. Thank you very much.